This is Dave Brixius.
This is your man Joe Cleasy.
This is the program, the high school edition, week number 4 in the books.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was a chilly one on Friday night. Nice though, getting to that football weather. I know you and I were out to see a massacre in some respects. Just an overmatch.
Yeah.
That's what it came out to be. Camp Hill playing Milton Hershey, and Milton Hershey took it right to him.
Yeah, Milton Hershey had way too much speed for him for Camp Hill. It was pretty much over by the first half, and you know, I won't say much about it.
Yeah, and I'll just go into it real briefly. It's just what I see is when you have an injury with a team like Camp Hill, even one kid that's a good player, that hurts big time. And they were missing 2 linemen. They were starting fullback. So when you take away those guys, like other teams can fill in and say, all right, yeah, we still can compete. It's very difficult for a Camp Hill team. Now, I'm not taking away. They still should compete, and I'm not taking anything away from Milton Hershey because they definitely took it to them right off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got there, 5 minutes in the game, started 21-0 or something like that. So they definitely took it to them. But, you know, rebound week, you know, Camp Hill has a chance to go down to Middletown, who's 3-1, who's playing fantastic, I think. You know, one of the big shocks of the year this year, Middletown, after they got destroyed by Lower Dolphin, destroyed them in the first game. They've come back with 3 straight wins. So Camp Hill has a chance to go down there with those guys back to see how they rebound and stuff like that.
And, you know, Milton Hershey's part of that pretty tough Capital Division.
Yeah.
Teams such as Trinity, and actually, speaking of Trinity, and Still High, who I think is probably the class of the Capital Division right now, hanging 51 points on Trinity. At Trinity, a shutout win. I think they pretty much made their point, and you know, they're for real. They've I'm pretty impressed with this squad. They're definitely challengers for the District 3 title, obviously at single A, and they finally, you know, got ranked in the top 10 on the statewide level. So, you know, you gotta give props to the Rollers for going into Trinity and pretty much giving them a nice
butt whooping.
Beating,
they did.
Say it, but
you know, but that's what happened. I mean, you can't lie. I mean, that's what the score says, and that's exactly what they did. So, you know, Trinity's struggling a little bit this year.
Yeah.
They don't look like the normal Trinity. I don't know what's going on over there.
Not the same swagger.
No, they don't. You know, they have some talent, but they just, it's just not coming together for whatever reason. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes, you know, in seasons, you really think you have all the pieces in place, but whether a guy gets hurt, or sometimes it just doesn't click, and that's sometimes what happens. And Trinity just looks off this year.
Yeah.
Just really looks off. And Steel High, like you said, is playing awesome. You know, I give my hats off to Steel High. I thought they might be a little bit still on that iffy bubble there, but they definitely, I think, coming back from 14 down, not this past week, but the week before against Pius X, proved and showed. You know what I mean? It gave them a lot of confidence going into the Trinity game. Yeah, you know, they're for real, and they're going to be out there on the chopping block when it comes out time for the districts. I think they have a great shot at winning that.
And speaking of districts, let's go up to the quad A level. Even though Lower Dolphin plays the Keystone Division, they're a quad A team. Currently, they're 4-0, and they're actually ranked #1 in the power rankings. Now, I know that's pretty early, but again, you know, some may have thought it might have been a little let down this year for Lower Dolphin, but once again, they're undefeated at this point in the season, and definitely tough.
Yeah, and you know, it's a good squad, good hard-nosed squad. You don't have any outstanding players besides probably Trey Clark, you know, who's definitely, you know, Division I, going to Georgia Tech, great kid, works hard. But they just got a great group of individuals that just come together. You know what I mean? There's no outstanding guy I'm like, wow, look at that speed, look at this guy, boom. But when they all come together, it's amazing. I mean, Nate opening kickoff. I mean, you set the tone of the game right there in the opening kickoff when he takes that back 95 yards. You know what I mean? He's not the blazing guy, not the fastest guy in the world, but he got the job done. I think that set the tone because I personally believe Redland was a very, very good team. You know, this was going to be their first big test, you know, going in, you know, starting with the conference games and all that, and they handled their business.
Well, you know what they call themselves, right? It's the money team.
Well, you know, you got to give credit to them because at this point they were 4-0 last year too, and they had 3 shutouts. They have 3 shutouts this year.
Tough
you know
defense.
what I mean? And the defensive coaching staff down there does a great job. You can say, well, they didn't play this guy and this guy and this guy. Whoever, you still got to go in and you still got to shut the team out.
Correct.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the wins are the wins, but they're doing the job on the defensive end. And their offense is doing the job of scoring points. Where, you know, last year, they really struggled scoring points. You know what I mean? But they're scoring points. 24 points against a decent Redland squad is nice. They got to get ready, though, for Mechanicsburg, who you know, took one on the chin from McDevitt, who they played well. It was 22-7 at half, and even into the third quarter. And then McDevitt, once again, second half, this second half coming through.
I think for Lower Dauphin, this is a good game to see. Where they're at early in the season. They'll get to assess themselves.
Yeah.
Mechanicsburg too. I mean, let's not. Let's not mince words. Bishop McDevitt is a buzzsaw right now. So Mechanicsburg,
powerhouse.
Give them a run for their money. But maybe this week we'll be able to tell more about Mechanicsburg.
And Mechanicsburg was missing Tyler, the quarterback.
Yeah,
he was out. Now we'll see if he comes back. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying he is, but you never know what happens. Throughout the week of practice and warm-ups and all that kind of stuff. So I know they were missing him. I think they were missing one of their other starters too. I don't know exactly what position he played, but they were missing somebody else. And word is on the street that he's going to be back too as well. But we'll see. So that'll definitely give Lower Dauphin, a challenge that they got to really rise up to and be ready for. They can't underestimate this Mechanicsburg team, because I think Mechanicsburg is very, very good. Like I said, they even gave McDevitt a little run there in the first half. But once again, I think everybody's giving McDevitt a run in the first half.
Yeah.
And McDevitt's just like, all right, time for us to play.
Yep.
Boom. Then go out in the second half and just beat up on teams. But they have the big game coming up this week.
Yep. And, actually, before I get to that one, I just wanted to shout out to Mifflin County. They new to the Mid-Penn last year. Had a rough going at it, but right now they're currently 4-0. And they have a nice game against Harrisburg this year. I mean, I'm sorry, this upcoming week, Harrisburg right now is 1-3. But I hate to say it, but that's a dangerous 1-3 to Mifflin County.
Yes, that's speed.
Exactly.
And they get, and then and I know a lot of people had high expectations for Harrisburg, but it just goes to show when you lose a guy like Robert Martin and your featured guy, that's what happens sometimes in the high school rank. I mean, it can happen at any level, but it definitely happens in the high school rank. Where you lose somebody like that, and I know, they're going to get themselves together. They still continue to play hard. It's just we'll see how they do against Mifflin County. You know what I mean? A 4-0 team, can they drop them with their first loss? Which I like you said, they got that speed and they're definitely dangerous all the time.
And I think Coach Kyle Everett from Harrisburg will agree with this. It's definitely gut check time.
Yeah.
A lot of people are writing them off, and at 1-3, you can go either way, up or continue to go down. So now, as we alluded to earlier, actually had several big games this week. Cumberland Valley, they face Chambersburg. Chambersburg is probably a dark horse to win the Commonwealth Division this year. They're currently 4-0. Beat Central Dauphin last week.
At Central Dauphin.
Right.
And shout outs going to one Central Dauphin player. We're hoping for the best for him. Prayers going out to him. He was jacked up pretty bad. I hear he does have feeling and stuff like that. I know there was worried there that he was paralyzed and stuff, but he was for a little while. He does have feelings, so our prayers go out to him as well. Because I just talked to one of the coaches today. They said he's probably done the season. They said it's going to be at least a 4 to 6 week recovery, but even so, most likely they'll just hold him out, which is it's sad. But hey, listen, better be safe, better be able to walk when you're 20, 25, 30 years old than not. So our prayers go out to him.
Indeed. Another big game, regardless of the record, the West Shore War. I don't know if it's called that, but it's Cedar Cliff.
We nicknamed it that. There you go.
It's the West Shore War now. Cedar Cliff versus Redland. And like I told somebody last year, I think a lot of people not familiar on the West Shore. That's one of the biggest games in this area.
Yep.
Like I made a point of this online. I parked closer to the highway than I did to the field last year, so it's going to be packed. And it's Redland. They both share the same field.
Yep.
Basically the same school district.
Yep.
So it's not a bad game to go to.
No, I mean it doesn't matter what record is. I mean Cedar Cliff's definitely going to be the advantage here with that high octane offense. Their defense is, I think, better than they have been in the past. I think their defense is definitely playing better, definitely doing the job they need to do to get these wins and stuff like that. What they did to Hershey, shut down Hershey's high octane. I think had a decent offense, shut them down. But it's going to be a war, like you said, because it's your rivalry. I don't care. It goes back to the days when McDevitt and Harrisburg, and one team was very, very good, the other team really wasn't good. You still have a great game. It's just how it goes.
Yep, and Redland has John Ford. As long as you got a healthy John Ford toting the rock, he can always take it distance at any time. So I think it should be a pretty
that's going to be a very good game.
At the very least.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great game.
And of course, last but not least, probably the biggest game of the week.
Yeah.
Bishop McDevitt, Susquehanna Township over at the Hannah. You have father versus son. Coach Joe Heed of Susquehanna Township. His son plays for Bishop McDevitt. I mean, it's a big Keystone Division matchup, and actually a big matchup just in District 3 period as far as
Triple A teams
standings go. McDevitt's beaten Susquehanna Township the last couple of games now. I mean, I'm sorry, in the last couple of years.
Yep, last couple of years.
So in the last couple of weeks, Susquehanna Township's offense has been rolling a little bit more than, from last time I saw him at Central Dauphin East week 2. So.
But if you think back, towards the end of that Central Dauphin East game, they started to click a little bit. They got back in that game because they were losing pretty bad. Got back in it. Couldn't pull it out. Yep. Couldn't pull it out at the end. Ran out of time. But since then, they've definitely done it. You still, my hat still goes off to McDevitt. Just that, I know everybody talks about McDevitt, blah, 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 but you got to give credit where credit's due. And they just continue to get the job done. You know what I mean? That defense steps up. All right, enough playing around here. We're ready to go now. Because, Mechanicsburg opened up and we're up 7-0 on them. You know? And then all of a sudden McDevitt's like, you know what? All right, enough. We gave them 7-0 lead. It's time for us to take over. And that's just what they do. And like you said, it's a big game because it's become a big conference game. Yeah. You know, that's McDevitt's big probably their biggest rivalry in the conference. You know what I mean? Outside of that, you got your Harrisburg and Central Dauphin. But in the conference, it's definitely the Susquehanna. They don't want to lose. They feel if they can win this game against McDevitt, that's a huge boost to that program, as well as their season. And McDevitt, has to come out ready to play. This is not going to be one of those games that, hey, we can just, let a team get up on us and then we'll go catch up. They got to come out ready to play, be able to smash mouth it, and do what they got to do to get the W.
Yep, because Susquehanna Township, from an athlete standpoint, is one of the few teams actually in that division that can match up with them. Player for player, almost player for player. Now, from McDevitt's standpoint, they have a really good backfield with Rashard Lawson and Andre Robinson. The Robinson kid is tough. Yep. Big. He has some speed to him. He's tough to bring down. Once the third and fourth quarter rolls around, there's not too many people wanting to tackle him.
Yeah, and plus that line does a fantastic job. So they wear you down. By the time fourth quarter, he's getting these nice holes, and then he's doing the rest, which is tough to do. Let's be honest. When you got a line that just beats you up, and then you're finally tired by the end. And McDevitt has that luxury of a lot of their guys don't go both ways on the line and stuff like that. They can bring in some fresh guys here, but Kobe White, I got to give a shout out to him. I think he had 4 catches, like 153 yards.
Yeah, Austin.
1 or 2 touchdowns. So he definitely got the job done. And the one was a real nice, I think it was a screen pass or whatever, and he took it like 80 yards to the house. A couple great moves, a couple great cuts and stuff like that. So he did his job and stuff. But that's definitely the key matchup. And I know you'll probably get out to that game.
Yeah, definitely.
I know
I'll be there
you're
early.
a big fan of that one. You'll probably be camping out there the night before.
I probably had to park at the farm show this time. And, actually, I wanted to shout out to East Pennsboro as well. They're 3-1. Actually, Still High plays them this week. So,
all right.
It might be a trap game, maybe. But I think Still High is rolling right now. So it'll be interesting to see.
Still High looks definitely tough. And my shout out's got to go to Chambersburg. Going into Central Dauphin, that defending Commonwealth champion there, doing their job year in and year out and getting the W. I know they got up 6 or whatever, and Central Dauphin made a comeback late in the game, but they held on to win. Now let's see if they have that knockdown. You know what I mean? Will they come down and not be ready for Common Valley because it got so high? That sometimes happens. Let's hope not. I'd like to see a real competitive game there against Common Valley, but Common Valley stayed under the radar, this whole time. After that loss, they just keep doing the job because, they handed Central Dauphin a pretty good beating there, 32-7 or whatever. So I think this week's definitely, we got some great games coming up. You know what I mean? Some great games, some great matchups. We're still in that conference play, and that's what you got to love. The conference is so great to see these teams go at each other.
Yep, and as we mentioned earlier, the power rankings coming out, for the District 3 playoffs as well. So not only are these teams competing for, division title, but, a good placement in the District 3 playoffs can mean a whole lot.
Huge. Yeah, you don't want to be, if I'm the number 1 seed in McDevitt and I'm playing, you don't want to be that number 16 seed.
Not at all.
Playing first round against McDevitt.
And McDevitt, they can hold own games this year now. So.
Yeah, there's no going to Harrisburg, no going to Central Dauphin, they're going someplace else. They got the home games right there, so that's what you're looking at right now with that. I know it's going to be interesting. It's going to be another beautiful weekend, at least from what everybody's saying. Chilly. But hey, it's football week. It's football time, and we're getting right to that. Yeah, this is going to be the halfway point, right?
Yeah.
Week number 5, halfway point of the regular season. Getting there, getting the job done, and we'll see what happens. I know you'll be at that, like we said before, the Susquehanna game, so that should be awesome. I think that's going to be some fireworks, like you said. If you're going, get there early because that parking isn't all that great either.
No,
it's not much better than McDevitt, but then again, what I mean.
I'll be in somebody's yard most likely, but
or maybe you'll parachute in. I'll drop you off. I'll take the helicopter and drop you off. pregame. All right.
This should be a great week.
Yeah. So good luck to all the teams. Again, you know, guys, get out there. If you guys want to be a part of the show, please. All you got to do, we do it Tuesday nights. Let us know. We tape. We'll get you in here. We'll get you to sit down, interview you, whatever you want to do. We're always willing to have you guys on. If you guys even want to put something out there that you guys had a phenomenal game or something like this, hey, Cleasy, I had 3 catches for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns or whatever it is. Boom, let us know.
And you know, to cut you off real quick, you can check us out at preps.com, where every week I have the top 10 Mid-Penn teams, and every week I'll name an offensive, defensive, and the overall MVP each week. You know, so we're watching.
Yeah, so I mean, Joe's the man around here. Joe knows his football. He definitely is always out there, and we're here to help you guys any way we can. Players, whatever we can do to help promote you guys. Cleasy does a phenomenal job. He's always out there getting information out. All I do is see on Facebook every like 10 minutes he posted this or this video. This one, yeah. He posted this or this guy and that guy. So he's definitely out there, definitely trying to help you guys out. So if you want to be a part of the show, please let us know. We're more than welcome to put you guys. We're more than happy, I should say, to put you guys on. But this is Dave Brixius.
It's your man Joe Cleasy.
And this is the program.